Hi everyone, we're back again for our plugs and switches videos. Remember, these are for review purposes only and not intended for training. They're to help our guys review for the test that's coming up that they'll use the wall for. Our next step is going into a GFI and explaining how these work. So GFI is real simple. They have a line and load written on the back. So we have a line and load. The line is coming from the main panel or from wherever the power is, and the load is going out to any switches or lights or anything else that's going to be ran off the GFI. Now, if you flip these, and you'll know that when you trip here, when you actually hit your button to trip it, it doesn't actually trip here, it just trips down the way or vice versa. So you'll know when things don't work right that that's usually what it is. So kind of the anatomy of a GFI here, we're kind of going to go over it. So on this one, the line wires are on top. So that's going from power in the panel. So there'll be gold wire, small side again, is your hot. Silver wire, tall side, is going to be your neutral. On the bottom, where it says load, that's what is going to be downstream. So anything that's going to run off this GFI. Now, if you don't want anything GFI'd downstream, you'll pigtail off of this and just run hots all the way down. So this would be the only GFI. So let's say this was a bathroom and I didn't have anywhere else I wanted it to be GFI'd. I would pigtail off, run directly into here, and then I'd, off the pigtail, go with all the other ones. All the other ones would be non-GFI'd. This one would be. And again, if you mix these up, you'll see things like you can't get it to trip here, but it will trip downstream, or it won't work here. It kind of does a lot of different things here. This happens to be a 20 amp. You know, you can do 15s. Remember, is because all of them, even 15s and 20s, are both rated for 20 amps. But you can, you know, kind of know that this one is a really heavy duty one. So I put a lot of these in because they're a little stronger. And they tend not to go as bad as often as the 15 amps. And then we have grounding here if we're using metal boxes, kind of more for commercial type use. Let's go over to the wall and take a look and get her all wired up. Okay, so when it comes to the wall, we always want to check and make sure we're locked out, tagged out, and we've dropped our key back off with Ryan, and we'll have to check the key back out to turn on the system once we're all done to make sure everything works. And you'll see you have to finish the whole entire item before you're allowed to have the key back. So with this one, we're going to go here. Now I've already left the Wagos in here. The reason we're using Wagos, not a huge fan, but some people love them, some people don't. I'm a big fan of wire nuts. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and plug our neutral back in and lock it down. And that's tied in to the power coming in and the power going out to items that are not GFI'd, okay? Then we'll do our hots, lock it down, make sure we're good to go there. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll bring in our ground. On this one, the ground can be stabbed underneath, so there's a little plate. Make sure you're getting it underneath the plate. I'm going to go ahead and crank that guy down, tighten it up. Then we have our GFI'd wire here. This is the one that we're going to actually be using as our GFI, which is going to come along here, come down here, and go all the way over to our GFI'd outlet over here. So we know we want that plug also GFI'd. Because of that, we're going to go ahead and take our wires here. We'll take our hot. Actually, we'll start with the neutral because we're already flipped upside down. We're going to put it underneath the plate. We're going to tighten it down and crank that down nice and tight. This is one I recommend not using a drill for. Take this guy, tighten it down, nice and tight, and we're going to force everything back in. I take the ground first, push it all the way to the back. I take my two, and if we were going to leave these forever, I recommend taping them. So that's what's really nice about these guys. Again, I push my ground into the center, and I push my wires back and forth so my ground can't cause us to short out. Push it all the way in, grab our drill. We always do the bottom screw first. Start our top screw here. Okay, once we got that done, come up here to our GFI plate. Make sure GFI is straight up and down. I'll take points off. Use our twisty screwdriver. It's super fast and we don't want to use, you'll crack a lot of them. Make sure your screws are straight up and down. Boom. Remember guys, these are for review purposes only. Make sure you're getting training. Make sure everything's working. One more thing guys on this guy, you have a reset button here and you have a test button, okay? See it pops out? If you push it in and it won't reset, that GFI does not have power. So that's kind of always a sign that it's not the GFI, it's a power issue before you test. So go ahead and plug your tester in, make sure everything's working properly. Once the power's back on, it will reset. So this one won't reset until we plugged it in to get the wall tested up or turn on the GFI, or turn on the power to the GFI. As always, guys, have a great day. Remember, these are for review purposes only, and we're not responsible for them. But like, subscribe, share, guys. We've got a lot of good videos on here. We're trying to help everybody out to review what's going on and what you're learning in your classes. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.